Texas has not turned a corner. Texas has not revived their season. Texas just beat Texas Tech. And at this point, that's what we got to take. I've been saying this all season. If you follow me, if you watch here in East Texas on news stuff or whatever, Texas Tech's not very good this year. I didn't think they were very good to start the year, and they really haven't been. Extremely young. I think they've underperformed as well. But they're not very good. And Texas won. And we looked a lot better than we did last week against Kansas State, though. Don't have to do too much to do that. But the Longhorns, at least in the second half, on offense, looked better. Defense played great today. But Texas Tech has limitations. The running back, the best player probably on the field, though, was the running back for Texas Tech, a Devontae Washington kid, who I hadn't seen before. That guy's the real deal. I hate it, but the thing, I mean, they were so hamstrung. They're already young teams, not very good, and then they were down to third-string quarterback after we knocked out Patrick Mahomes. And just real quick on Patrick Mahomes, if you don't know, I work at a news outlet here in East Texas, and I cover news and sports. Patrick Mahomes played at White House, was just right outside of Tyler here. I talked to the kid quite a bit. Really, really good kid. Great football player. We've seen this guy do some amazing things at White House High School in the playoffs, in the regular season. He's a good kid. He's a smart kid. And Dylan Cantrell as well, who's a wide receiver for Texas Tech. He's a year older than Mahomes. Got to see both of them play. So for Texas Tech fans who are watching this, you got two really good kids on your team right there, two very talented kids that if the program can build around those guys, I think Tech can get back and going as they did a couple years ago. So, of course, for me, whenever Quandre hit Mahomes, I was extremely excited that he fumbled and the Horns got the ball back, but I hated to see him get hurt like that. I hope he's going to be okay because it's one of those guys that, you know those guys. You cover those guys, and even if they're on a rival team, you hate to see them get hurt. You hate to see anybody get hurt, but especially somebody who, you've talked to before and you've covered and you know what kind of guy they are. So hopefully Pat's going to be okay. But from the Texas perspective, defense was great. Texas Tech is limited. We only had one interception, I think, but there should have been about 18 because once Tester already got in there, he's a walk-on, and you could tell he was just throwing. Anytime it went down the field, it was a duck, and it probably should have been picked off. Once we shut down their running game, they didn't have a chance. The Texas offense, second half was fine. Got it together, started throwing the ball downfield. Man, that first half, Swoops has got to stop fumbling the football. That scoop and score for Tech should have never happened. And he's still having problems just throwing the football away. He keeps taking 6-yard losses running out of bounds. It's things like that that really just make you frustrated because I'm a guy who I look at Swoops thinking, could this be the guy? Could this be a guy in the next coming years that the Horns could build around? And you see that at times. He has a great deep ball at times. There are times his arm strength is insane. And sometimes he'll get loose downfield. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he can get loose. He's a big guy, and he had a big run today. But I don't see how we can build on this down the road. I mean, it's just little spots. I want to see more consistency. So now going to the second half, though, he played much better. Jonathan Gray and Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown had a monster game, and Gray had a good game too. And the offensive line, I'll give the offensive line credit for this ball game. They dominated up front. It's a lot of young guys up front. I know Tech is not great on defense. They never really have been. But for our offensive line to be so young and to really control the line of scrimmage the way they did, especially in the second half, that I can really get behind. That I can say, hey, maybe there's something here. Maybe we can really build from this down the road. You hate to lose a John Harris. Though a couple of times he lost the ball, I don't know, in the lights or something, the Lubbock wind. But he got his passes there at the end. I hate that John Harris is a senior because he's had his breaking out season this year. Jackson had a good game. So, look, overall, the Horns won 34-13. But now they're 4-5. And now you look at it, you've got West Virginia next, Okie State, and TCU. You've got to win 2 out of 3 to get to a bowl game, which, of course, at Texas, we know what kind of season this is. We know this is a season where we're kind of tearing things down to build things back up down the road. But it is embarrassing. I'm not going to lie. It is embarrassing at Texas to be talking about trying to make a bowl game. But that's where they are. It's reality right now. And you look at it, the likelihood is we're not. Because West Virginia, although they did lose to TCU, they probably should have won. And West Virginia, I mean, ever since week 1 against Alabama, they've proven me wrong of thinking they were going to be garbage this season. Trickett is a very good quarterback. Kevin White is maybe one of the best wide receivers in the country. And they play hard, man. Holgorsen, I give Holgorsen a lot of credit. You can make fun of him sometimes, man. Holgorsen's got that team playing. He's got that team believing. Okie State, I don't know. That may be the game that Texas has a chance. That may be the battle of teams that don't know what they're doing right now. Okie State's probably better than Texas right now, but they got clowned by K-State. And then there's TCU. They've opened up that offense, and it's going to be tough. That Thanksgiving Day game is going to be rough, but we'll find out. But today, look, Texas. It's been since the last time Texas Tech beat Texas was the game I was at in Lubbock in 2008 when Michael Crabtree scored the touchdown with 1 second left. He ran right across my face. I was in that end zone where he scored. That's the last time that Tech has beaten Texas, and it still stings. But since then, even though Texas has been bad up and down or whatever, still beat Texas Tech. So it's always good to beat those guys. Always enjoy it. Hope Mahomes is okay, though, for you Texas Tech Red Raiders. And we'll see what goes down the road. But hook 'em horns, Texas fight. But it's still going to be a tough road to hoe. I don't know if the Horns took a step forward or not in this game. We'll find out next week, though, against West Virginia. We'll find out. Hook 'em.